Hi everybody, Craig here. Welcome to episode 3 of my 3-player free-for-all Age of Wonders 3 playthrough series. In this series, I'm playing against 2 Emperor AI that are each on their own separate team, and I'm playing as the High Elf Arch Druid, Tauron of the Trees. In our last episode, we continued to expand and kind of gain power. In particular, we've really been leveling up our heroes here, so you can see Tauron himself is now level 5, and our Theocrat hero is at level 6. We also were able to evolve one of our units, the Canyon Crawler Spider that we had, and we now have an Elder Canyon Crawler Spider, which is a level 3 unit, or excuse me, a tier 3 unit, which is quite exciting. And we've made some additional progress in regards to kind of exploring and clearing around our throne city. So we're going to try to keep that going this episode and see what else we can find. But before I dive into the episode, I did just want to give a couple of quick shoutouts to a few individuals who left some fantastic comments on the previous episode. The first of those comments is from John Calabro. John pointed out that after I've completed the basic seafaring research, some good choices afterwards would be Produce Hunter and also Hunter's Finesse. And that's actually more or less what I was going to do. And the reason that John pointed this out is that the hunters that I get access to as a elf are extremely powerful units. But you can see here that I actually get also access to the High Elf Sylvan Ranger, which is I'm presumably a unit added by Chivalrous Intentions. Looks very powerful. It has Shoot Longbow and Quick Shot, which is an ability I'm not familiar with. So that'll be very exciting. But to John's point, as a High Elf, the hunters are an extremely powerful unit. You can see they have Shoot Longbow, which is very, very good. And so this is something I'm definitely going to do. And then the reason to get Hunter's Finesse is that archers are trained to aim for a living creature's vital organs. They receive the Razor Projectiles ability. So this is one that I was going to get pretty much regardless, just given the fact that I already have a couple of decent archer units, and this would benefit all of my archers. So great suggestion there from John. The next comment here is from Lance Fair. Lance pointed out that new tier 3 spider that I have access to here, this Elder Canyon Crawler, is extremely tanky, and I couldn't agree more. You can see it has 80 hit points, and it has 14 defense, 12 resistance, and it also has reinforced, which means that it's got even higher defense against standard physical ranged attacks, which is extremely good. So very strong unit here. Lance also pointed out that some of the new spider variants are extremely cool, so the variants that are added by Chivalrous Intentions, but that I shouldn't forget about the original spider variants because they are also quite powerful. And to that point, Lance was pointing out that, just here as an example, this Hunter Spider is quite useful in that it can evolve as well as most of them can into a Spider Queen. And it does have access to Phase, which is a very, very powerful ability, as we know from using it with my Elven Cavalry there. And of course, the Spider Baby, the Hunter Spider Baby, has Webbing Touch, which that's one of the downsides to the Canyon Crawler, is that unfortunately it doesn't really have any special abilities here. Okay. So, let's see here. The next comments are from Albtron. Albtron pointed out that I probably shouldn't have paid for peace with the draconian city that I made contact with, and that's up here. And honestly, I very much agree. I think I got a little bit kind of hung up on wanting to have more than one race in my army for this playthrough, but I think it would actually have been more beneficial for me to basically just eventually declare war on them, or kind of go into their territory and make them angry, make them declare war on me, and that would have then given me additional evil points, which I think would be great for me. And I also think it would probably be beneficial in this playthrough to go for monoculture and to just migrate basically every city over to elves, more or less. Again, there's lots of Empire Quest reasons to go kind of for the maximum evil route. And since I also have Expander as one of my specializations, that would be a smart move. So I agree with Albtron. That probably wasn't worth it. But since I've done it, I am going to try to make friends with the Draconians at least. Hopefully that city doesn't get pilfered by one of my opponents or vassalized by them, but we'll just have to wait and see. Altrom also pointed out that I don't actually have to send all my units back to group them up in order to divide my units, and that's a great point. I kind of had it in my head that I needed to send all my army back. What I think I'm going to do here is I need to send one stack, obviously, to go and deal with this necromantic circle here, which is causing me some problems. And I'm also going to have to send an army back to, I believe, clear out this magma forge, which I don't think I've cleared out. And I think either this mana node, again, I can't remember offhand if I've cleared it, but even if I have, I would need to go here. There's some knowledge scrolls here that I can go and grab. And also it might be worth going and perhaps even clearing out this lost library up there. And then there's another one over here. So definitely some options and opportunities over here. But at the very least, I do need to send an army back to deal with this and another one back to clear out the remaining structures around my throne. So I think I will divide my troops kind of now or in the very near future here and have one stack go back towards my throne and the other can go and take out the necromantic circle and then maybe head south. But we'll have to see about that. I'll kind of try to divvy that out here in the next couple minutes. The next comment from Alptrom is just to check the level up bonuses for that new spider, and I do want to see this. So if we take a look, Alptrom also pointed out that although the spider has really good stats, it actually is kind of lacking in regards to special abilities, and I agree. But that said, I think it makes up for it with its just sheer power in terms of the health, the defense, and just kind of how tanky it is, especially being reinforced. So again, let's look here. So we have kind of standard just level up bonuses up until we hit... Wow, at elite level we get tireless, which basically means that we don't use up our action points in attacks of opportunity or retaliation. So that would be extremely powerful. Not to mention we get a ton of extra hit points. So by the time we're fully leveled up, this thing will have well over 100 hit points before it even gets to champion. So that's incredible. Very, very cool unit. As always, though, thank you for the excellent comments and suggestions. They are greatly appreciated. Now let's get into the action here. I've been meaning to, as I said, split up these units. So I think we'll hold off for this turn. And then next turn, what I'm thinking is I'm going to split off my Theocrat and probably have the Theocrat lead more of the my non-animal units, because I think the animals will benefit more from being with Tauron, just given that I have Awakened Spirit. Although, admittedly, Awakened Spirit, I believe, is a... Oh, no, I was going to say, I thought it was a once per battle, but it's actually got a cooldown, so it would make sense to have multiple animal units in with Tauron. So maybe what I'll do is, like, I could take my Unicorn Rider, for example, and send it along with my Theocrat, and then I can move the Spider in to join with Tauron here. Meanwhile, these two, I've got a Dwarven Blunderbussman and a High Elf Swordsman. I think I'll keep them along with my Theocrat, really. So, again, the Tauron stack is going to be himself, the Spider, the Avenger here, and then maybe the Judicator, along with the Hunter Spider. And the Theocrat will get everything else, I think. In any case, we can also summon another animal, so maybe we'll do that as well. Now, this is a good chance to perhaps do some... Well, we kind of have a decision to make, actually. We could summon it here next to our hero and do some scouting, which I think is probably what we'll do. I should also just double-check. Did we clear out this mana node? Okay, we did not. So, yeah, we definitely need to get back there to do that. And since we're here, let's just check. Did we clear out... Okay, and the Magma Forge is also not cleared out. So, yeah, we have some clearing to do. So, all the more reason to send one of our armies back to do that work. So then the question becomes, again, as I said, Theocrat and probably our Unicorn Rider are going to be the ones to go and do that. So we can actually split them off now. Why not? And then we can send them over that way. And meanwhile, Tauron perhaps can clear this out and then head down here and grab that Necromantic Circle. I think that would probably be wise. But anyway, back to summoning this unit. So we can summon a wild animal. Really, our only options are to summon it near our throne, which we've kind of already explored around, or to summon it near our heroes here. So, hang on. Before we do that, let me just check. Is this tiger... Okay, it's already used up its movement. I noticed there's some haste berries here, which would be useful as well. to kind of get us going once we've moved our stack over here. So why don't we do this? Let's see what we get first of all. Ooh, we got a Barghest. Let's see what that is. Looks kind of like a warg. So it is inflict bleeding wounds and it has overwhelm. It's a tier 1 unit. Okay, interesting. Has blight protection. Other than that, fairly standard. Does have night vision. So it's kind of like a modified version of a warg, I guess. Well, let's use it to do a little bit of scouting while we can. So we'll just head down, see what we can see around here. Because again, if we're going to commit our most powerful stack over here... Oh, here we go. There's a Sphinx Temple, which we could consider clearing if we're strong enough. So I wanted to make sure there was at least something down here to make it kind of worth our while. Otherwise, I could send my Druid back this way to clear this stuff here, and send my other stack down here, which is maybe more of a dead end. But we might be able to clear out that Sphinx Temple, so... Anyway, okay, let's check underground here. We did clear, or explore over here, and we found ourselves a necromantic circle that will eventually have to get dealt with. Let's head up this way and see what our mandrill here can find for us. Okay, so nothing yet, but we'll keep looking. And then we've got this boar. Now, just to remind everybody, we went underground through this tunnel here. We're just doing some exploration, so let's see what else we can find. Alright, so just gonna continue looking. Alright, okay. And then our spider baby here can again head back to group up with our druid. And then we can start summoning an additional wild animal. Why not? Have some additional scouts. We are kind of hurting for mana, but thankfully the city is going to grow very shortly here. Our throne city of Nundioth will grow and we'll get that mana node. So we'll end the turn there. Okay. Now we also have our crab up here. We were doing some scouting with the crab. In retrospect, because the crab can swim, I maybe should have sent the crab back to go and grab this gold here. But we do have this unit who is doing some exploration up here anyway, so might as well just keep kind of exploring just to make sure. And then we can hop in the water and grab this eventually, so that's fine. Our crab can keep going this way. Now, eventually we are going to encounter, and there it is. I was going to say we're going to encounter one of our opponents. So it looks like we've met the hostile Caradon. Let's see who that is. Oh, look at him. Let's take a look at him here. So he is a draconian theocrat. I really like the color scheme on him. So he has Cosmos, Explorer, and Wild Magic Adept. Okay, interesting. Not all that different from me, really. When you consider that I have Cosmos, Expander, and Wild Magic Adept. So this will be an interesting opponent, I think. Okay, so we might want to pull back here. And unfortunately, he's probably going to make a bid for this city as well. In 2 turns, I'll be able to try to make them my vassal, but I suspect he's doing the same thing. So why don't we pull back with our little scout? Or you know what? We can loop around like this. Let's do that. Oh, we could maybe steal some gold from him. Oh, and this is actually his throne city, so now we know where his throne is. That's actually going to help us out a little bit. Yeah, there it is. Knockbrock here. So when we are ready to attack, we know where to go. And yeah, as I said, this unit can just hang out, guard the city. Okay, so now let's start kind of working our way to where we need to go here. Again, the plan was to perhaps send our Theocrat this way to clear out the Watchtower. And then meanwhile, our stack here with Tauron can go south and clear out the Necromantic Circle. However, we're both going to go past this Watchtower, so let's deal with it on our way by. Now, hang on. Do we want to maybe bring the tiger up? I think it's best to have the tiger join in afterwards. So, although you know what, this tiger might be better suited to actually join in with Irillis, just given that he doesn't have as many units here. So, you know what we'll do is we'll go like this. There we go. All right, let's initiate the battle. Look at that. So we're up against an interesting draconian variant here, a draconian ice claw. So given their coloration, I'm assuming that they are, yeah, so they're a frost-skewed draconian subtype, I guess. And they have, as you can see, frost protection here, freezing touch, and a melee attack that does frost damage. So that's kind of a neat spin on the draconian sort of base there. I really like that. That's quite cool. Okay, so anyway, let's deal with them, though, since they are going to cause us some problems here. So first things first, let's use our Avengers to just absolutely obliterate these poor Draconians. And then we do also want to deal with the Draconian Charger, who has quite a bit of mobility. We might actually want to keep Tauron back, just given that they are kind of dangerous. So let's actually awaken our Canyon Crawler here, and we'll send him right up the gut. And in the meantime here, we will send our Judicator over like this, and our Spider Babies can hang out kind of in reserve for when they are needed. We'll keep our Tiger back. Irillis, on the other hand, I think what we'll do is we will buff our Unicorn Rider, and then we can send them in as well for some assistance. Our Blunderbustman can move in. I think that's going to about do it. Now let's see what happens. Okay, yeah, going for my archers, not really a surprise. So first things first, let's drop a nice big heal on our archers. Perfect. And then we can try for the webbing here. Okay, and we failed, but we did turn them, which is great. So now we can actually, you know what, we can step around like this, do some hefty damage, step off, and just get the kill. No problem at all there. Meanwhile, our Canyon Crawler can do some work, but I think what I'll do instead here is I'm actually going to move over like this with our Theocrat, do some fairly big damage there, actually, which is really good. And then I'm actually going to use the Unicorn Rider like this just to jump in behind, do some damage, and then get the kill with the Canyon Crawler here. Perfect. Okay, very nice. So that helps. That also gives us a bit more vision, which is really useful. We can see a lot more of what's going on around us. We'll keep exploring down this way just because we have the opportunity. And there's some extra gold we can grab as well. Very nice. And there's a Shadow Gate, so that's our kind of first time getting to see a path into the Shadow Realm. It'd be good to check out what's on this little kind of... I'm not sure if it's an island or just kind of a little... a kind of way that the land, the river kind of runs through, but we want to see what's on this side of the river, because again, if it ends up being really good, we might end up, when we send our other army up this direction, they could perhaps go and start clearing things out on that island, so our Theocrat could. Alright, so, send our Theocrat over this direction. Our Unicorn Rider can go along as well, as can the Tiger here. So now we have to be careful because, again, we don't really have any super powerful units in this stack besides our Theocrat himself. We'll initiate the battle. We just want to make sure we don't lose anybody. I mean, ideally here we're going to start gaining some experience. We also don't really have any ranged units, which is perhaps problematic. We have the Blunderbustman, although really that's not a traditional sort of ranged attack in the way we would sort of think about it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to, first of all, buff the Unicorn Rider. That's probably going to be our main unit for fighting here. We do have to watch out because, unfortunately, this Sun Guard is going to cause some problems for our Unicorn Rider here. And then, of course, engineers that have... Or, excuse me, the engineer has a blunderbuss. And then this little guy's going to throw some stones at us for sure. So, let's just kind of let them come to us here. Okay, that's fine. Alright, there we go. So now the question is, who should our Blunderbustman attack? Can do some pretty good damage to the Sun Guard. Alternatively here, can do some pretty hefty damage to this Prospector, which I really like. So yeah, let's do that. Very nice. Okay. And then you know what? We can actually step over and just outright kill the Prospector. So let's do that. Perfect. Okay. Now it's going to be dealing with this Sun Guard. And of course, we're in a bit of a tricky spot because we've got 2 mounted units who are not really going to be very well equipped to deal with this. So we'll step back here and we will blast for as much damage as possible. And then we will step up with our swordsmen and try to kind of tie them up a little bit. Again, we have to be very careful. We don't want to lose our hero. So I might even actually attack. Ooh, I do have to be kind of cautious. The Unicorn Rider here, we can actually teleport over like that. I think we'll do that. Again, maybe I should have charged in, but I wanted to get kind of further away from the pikemen. So now let's attack. Nice, okay. And then what we'll do here is we'll attack just to suck up some of their movement so that they can't step over and try to kill my my Theocrat. Alright, I think we're okay now. Ouch. Tigers took some damage. Thankfully, our swordsman also took damage, but is still okay. So what we're going to do here is we're going to drop a heal on the swordsman, first of all. Excellent. And then our blunderbussman here can step in. I actually don't want to hit twice. I just want to hit once. Okay, and we'll get the kill. I was going to say turn them and then try to get the finish with the swordsman if that didn't work. But now we can just get the kill with our Unicorn Rider up here. Ah, nice level up too. Fantastic. Okay. There we go. Some extra gold. And then we can back up to our stack. And now we'll head over to the mana node as well and then try and grab these scrolls over there. Alright, so now with our main stack here, we're going to head down and try to get rid of the Necromantic Circle. And then we'll keep doing our scouting like we were. Alright, so far nothing too crazy up there. As for this boar, I think we will just keep kind of picking a path and going down it just to see what we find. Okay, great. So that's going to do it for our turn. Our city is currently working on a laboratory, and then eventually it would be nice to get my hands on a settler here in the near future. Okay, nice. So Wastanoth can now discuss an alliance proposal. So they would like us to do a quest for them first, it looks like. So let's see. Tell me about this quest. They want us to raise a Watchtower. We can get a High Elf Vanguard and a vassal proposal. I will accept the quest. And so I can just head down and clear out this Watchtower and then raise it, and I should get myself a new vassal. So there's a quest for Tauron to go and do. We can clear out this, maybe swoop down, grab the haste berries, and then jump across the mountains and go and deal with that. Alternatively, just turn straight around and come back this way. Meanwhile, we've got... Oh, yeah, let's keep doing our scouting before we really do anything else here. Okay, so we're just going to see what else is on this little kind of island. Or weird stretch of land over here, I should say. I shouldn't call it an island. It's not really an island. Now we can actually go into the water, which is great, which means we can start to go for that treasure, which is great. And our crab over here can grab the gold right from beside the throne of our draconian opponent. Okay, this is still, thankfully, has not been taken by my opponent yet, although I'm sure that's going to happen shortly. We will have to hurry. Okay, we'll just keep exploring. Alright. So now we can also summon another animal, and I think we'll probably summon that to maybe my Theocrat stack, because again, they're not quite as powerful. We have stronger units here in Tauron's stack. So let's do that. Alternatively, we could summon it and use it as another scout, but I think it would be good to have another unit. Oh, that's excellent, a baby shock serpent. So this is one of the units that can evolve, which is fantastic, and it can actually evolve twice. So into a mature shock serpent and then a king shock serpent. So this is one that I'm going to want to try to nurture and feed experience to. Very, very happy I got that. Okay, so now with Tauron here, let's go and deal with these undead. And we do have to be careful because we do have a Deathbringer, which is a tier 3 unit that has Tireless and Shadow Step, so we will have to watch out. Let's do No Mercy and get some more experience and Evil Point. We're going to get some good points when we get these vassals, so... Okay. Now, these skeletons, I'm not as concerned about. I think we should be able to deal with them without too much issue. Oh, yeah, no problem there. And then Tauron here can step up and blast that one to death. Perfect. Meanwhile, our Canyon Crawler here can advance, as can our Judicator here. I think we'll move the Judicator up behind our hero. And then the Spider Baby can just stay where it is. Okay, nice. Wow, look at that. Our Canyon Crawler just tanked a ton of damage for us. Very, very good. We'll move over here. And then I think I'm actually going to perhaps go and heal the Canyon Crawler. We'll have to see, though. Let's see. Okay, we've got this obstacle in our way, so we'll step up. Oh, yeah, big... Oh, fantastic. We got ourselves a critical. That's amazing. Okay, we can step over one, and then, you know what? We can teleport over and try to web. Oh, excellent. Okay, that's great. Now we have an opportunity here to farm a little bit of experience, so we will awaken our spider. There's a nice level up for us. And then we will end our turn there. And then now we can also drop a heal. Perfect. Okay, great. And in terms of who needs the experience, the Spider Baby would be great to start getting experience and leveling up. Canyon Crawler is getting pretty close to a level up as well, but I think the Spider Babies would benefit the most, so... Excellent, because we want them to evolve and become a Hunter Spider Queen. So... Oh, nice. Some Frostling Boots. Nothing special, but they do provide some extra defense. And I think one of our heroes is missing leg gear, if I'm not mistaken. So I will take that. So we have with Tauron, but... Yeah, our Theocrat doesn't have anything currently, so let's send it to our Theocrat. Very good, and then we can equip it when it gets there. Alright, and we did get a level up with Tauron here, so now let's decide how to do that. I think we'll probably go Spirit of the Land here. That's one I've been meaning to do. For the Spirit Protection, so let's do that. Excellent, okay. And then as for the main stack, we can... Oh, nice, we can get to the Haste Berries. That's perfect. Okay, so we'll go... Oh, you know, we could go down to the Sphinx Temple. The only thing is, are we strong enough to do it? It's probably not worth the risk just yet, I'm kind of thinking. The question then is, if we get this, can we make it across the mountains more quickly than just going straight back this way? I actually think it's probably faster to just go straight back this way, rather than grabbing the Haste Berries and having to deal with the mountains. So I think we'll actually just turn around here. And just go back like this. Okay, excellent. All right, we get to choose our next research choice, but before I do that, let's just finish moving all of our scouts here. Just on the off chance we were to... Okay, so this is a dead end up here. That's fine. At least we know. Meanwhile, our boar can keep moving this way. Just getting kind of an idea of what's going on underground. And it looks like this will dead end up here as well, potentially. We can start summoning another wild animal, but we might want to wait until we have a little bit better mana income. Again, we now have our hands on this mana node, which is fantastic. Now that the city has grown as well, we're at 52 production income, which means that we can start doing things in 2 turns that are 100. So, for example, the storehouse or the stone wall, siege workshop we can do in 3 turns, which is probably what I'll do next once we have the laboratory. Although, again, it might be worth actually doing the shrine just so that we can get the extra mana income from it. because it is going to be 8 more turns until the village grows. And then we would get this extra mana node once we clear it, of course. So anyway, let's pick our research. Now, as was suggested by John Calabro, I was tempted to go produce Hunter, but I think it might actually be better to get Hunter's Finesse first, given that it will also benefit my currently active archers, and then I think I'll grab Produce Hunter after that. So let's start with Hunter's Finesse. Actually, well, hang on a minute. If we do this one, that would give us access to summon Eldritch Animal, so we could start summoning better units. You know what? Let's do Hunter's Finesse, because we want this eventually anyway, so let's get this one going. It's a little bit more expensive, a little bit longer, but we are about to have the laboratory, which is going to speed that up quite a bit. Okay. Our Theocrat can now move, so we will head over and clear out this mana node since we're in the neighborhood. We will do No Mercy. We want the experience. And remember, these goblin variants will explode when they die. This is going to be tough, given that we don't really have a lot of ranged units here. In fact, really the only one is the Blunderbussman and our Theocrat directly. So, all right, let's do a Touch of Faith here on our Unicorn Rider, and then we will send the Unicorn Rider up. And I'd like to try to entice them to attack me here if possible. Let's see. We could do Spell on something, maybe. Divine Protection, perhaps. Why don't we throw that on somebody? Maybe on the Blunderbussman. Yeah, you know what? Let's do it. Just so that we have the extra resistance there. Now, let's see if we can, again, entice them to come out to me. Alright, we'll just kind of rotate everybody around. Okay, there we go. That's what I was waiting for. Okay, excellent. So now we should be able to kill off the Wisps here without too much trouble, thanks to our Shock Serpents here. And that's not going to get the kill, unfortunately. Oh, nice. We did get the critical, which got the kill. Okay, great. Now we should, and keyword here is should, be able to get the kill. And then the problem, though, is that this unstable crystallization is going to do some nasty damage to us, as you can see. 13 physical and 7 shock damage, which is going to be not very pleasant. So we don't want units gathered around when these goblins expire. So let's see now. If we step up like this, we can blast here for some fairly hefty... Oh, fantastic. We got ourselves a critical there. We should be able to... Oh, yeah, we can get the kill here, no problem. Perfect. And then, again, we can get the kill here, and I think we should survive. Yeah, we took some damage, but we survived. That actually went quite well. Nice level up here for our Blunderbussman. Some extra mana, that's good. Especially since we are currently hemorrhaging mana, which is not ideal. So again, I probably won't cast another spell for a bit. And that's going to do it for our turn, so we'll end it there. Oh, I hear some wings flapping. Okay, an item has arrived. Nice. Those are our boots for our hero, and he should already have equipped them. Yep. Fantastic. We've gotten better at governing elves, which is great. Shooting grounds give High Elf Longbowmen and High Elf Hunters +1 range damage. That's really good. Versus shooting grounds in High Elf cities provide additional population growth. Now, the population growth would be nice, but I think it would be better to just improve our bowmen, honestly. Whether or not we end up making a lot of longbowmen or hunters, I mean, you know, I think I'm going to go with the military upgrade. Again, that population would be good, especially to offset our slow growth, but we're already offsetting it thanks to our having expander, so I'm not as concerned about that. So let's do the military upgrade, especially given how good the longbowmen are and the hunters are. So let's do that. Okay, alliance proposal. Oh, definitely, yeah, we can get a vassal here. So we managed to at least get them before my opponent, so I will happily accept. Again, that is giving us some good points, but not the end of the world. And we have a hero offering to join us. Ooh, a level 2 sorcerer would like to join us. Let me see. Show me your talents. Nothing particularly special about a jealous the levitating, or a Gellis perhaps. Fairly standard sorcerer hero. Of course, has channeler. Oh, he does have floating though. That is one thing that I will note here. So that's pretty cool. If I could get him leading a stack of units that are more mobile, that would be great. So that's the big difference for him, is that he starts off with floating. You know what? Sure, I will happily accept. And he does have unspent points, so let's check that out. Okay, he has a level up that we can apply. Magic Affinity would probably be a good choice for him leading an army, as that would give him additional resistance for the units he's leading. But we don't really have enough for him to currently lead a stack, so I might actually start making him more of a caster rather than... when he starts with Magic Fist, Sphere of Protection, Harmonizing Energy, yeah, that's pretty good. Let's make him more of a caster than anything else just to start with. We can always give him some of these additional upgrades like Charged Army later on. But for now, I think it'd be better to have him able to cast some... do some nasty spell casting. Okay, now Tauron, we're going to head down, and again, we want to go and deal with that quest, so down this direction here. So I don't think we're strong enough to take on a dungeon just yet, so we're going to head this way and go deal with the quest. Very good. And then our sorcerer hero... You know, our sorcerer hero could perhaps go and join our stack down here, actually, since we currently don't really have enough units for him to really do anything else. I mean, he could join in with Irillis, as Irillis could probably use the help, but I'd almost rather have him with Tauron, especially since we have a slot in the army here currently. I got to think about that for a second. Now, again, we can go and clear this out, and then perhaps go down to this island and kind of see what else. And then, you know what, this is a great time to do some more scouting, so we know what we're going to be encountering. Okay, so it kind of looks like this is actually just mountains and not really worth anything going over here. So, okay, maybe that's actually not what we want to do then. Yeah, instead, maybe what we'll do is we'll grab this and then just kind of turn around and come back. Because I just don't think that's really going to be worth doing. Oh, nice. Let's grab this gold while we're up here. Excellent. That's fantastic. And this little guy can start making his way back. You know what? Fairly soon, we probably will have enough units for a Jealous here to actually start leading them. All right, well, let's step over here, and at least we can do this battle. Now, hang on. I don't think anybody in this stack has Mountaineering. Does the Blunderbussman? Oh, he does. Okay. So we will actually engage the battle with the Dwarf, because he's going to step off the mountains and have to step back on. So, engage the battle with the Dwarf. Once I get my Theocrat to level 7, I believe I get access to Convert. And then I can start building an army for my Sorcerer hero to be able to lead. Okay, so I would like to kill off these Wisps if I could. That's good. Our Blunderbussman can step up. And then, like this. Oh, I thought I misstepped there. I thought I could hit both. Well, now we're in a bit of a pickle. Okay, our Tigers can step up and probably kill the Wisp. Excellent. Okay, that's good. And then our Unicorn Rider can definitely ride in, get the charge bonus. Nice big flank damage there. That's good. Oh, and then we can't tie up the Wisp, unfortunately, which isn't great. So, oh yeah, here, we can get the flank kill now. So let's do that. Nice. And then I think we'll just kind of leave things as they are. I imagine the Tiger's probably going to get attacked by the Wisp, but we'll see. Okay, going after my dwarves, that's fine too. We can heal them. No big deal. And then our Shock Serpent can step around, get some flank damage in. And then let's use our Unicorn Rider to get the kill. Excellent. Nice. And there's a big boost of knowledge. Look at that. 92. There you go. That took this down to only one turn left. That's fantastic. Yeah, and it really doesn't look like there's much of anything over here, so I'm not going to worry too much about it. We'll just zoom out quick. Yeah, it doesn't look like there's anything. It might be peeking out from that little misty area. So I'm not really going to worry about that. I think we can kind of turn back around and go this way. So now the question is, where do I send this hero next? I think we'll probably head back out here and start maybe clearing out some of the cities or some of the structures around my vassal city over here, perhaps. And then eventually start getting ready to maybe attack my opponent in the near future. Not to mention, we could also start thinking about maybe trying to attack these seals as we get strong enough. So, yeah, let's do that. We'll head back to this gold mine here. Now, Nundioth, we can do production. Again, we currently have 52, so the shrine would be nice purely so that we can improve our mana income, as we're currently losing quite a bit to upkeep. Whereas the Siege Workshop would be great to improve our production capability. I think we'll do the shrine, though, just because we do really need the mana income. All right, and this little guy, the crab, is going to keep exploring up north. Okay, so now we've got a pretty good idea of kind of everything around here. You can see that we now have eyes on 3 different seal locations. So there's one here, and then one here as well. So they're all kind of clustered in the center of the map. There we go. Meanwhile, underground, we're going to have to just run back this way. And then our boar, we might as well finish just exploring what's up here. But yeah, this is a dead end. And an inn there, so that's enough. We know what's there. We can turn around. And now, as for our new sorcerer hero, you know, he could almost start leading an army fairly soon. I mean, we've got a swordsman up there. We do have a bowman that we could repurpose to actually join the army rather than just be defending the throne city. So, you know, we could actually have him leading an army. We could also maybe subdivide this stack and give him one of the units from in here, like perhaps the baby shock serpent or something like that. Yeah, I'm not exactly sure. In any case, for this turn, I think we'll just leave him where he is because we want him kind of in the area. And that's going to do it for our turn. So I'm quite happy with how things are progressing so far. There we go, Hunter's Finesse, that's huge. So that improves all of our archers. Just to take a look at that, if we look at our longbowmen, they now have razor projectiles, which is great. Chance to inflict bleeding on an enemy unit now. Okay, so let's take Tauron here and go clear out the Watchtower here for this quest. Another spawning structure down here. Looks like a Brigand hideout. We're going to have to clear that out, that's for sure. So what we'll do is we'll attack the Watchtower. We will have to watch out for this Tigran Epsilon warrior, because again, it's kind of like a... we look here, it's got a sun shield and defensive strike, so kind of the infantry equivalent of the Tigran Sun Guard. All right. Ooh, and they have Animal Slayer, which means they did a little bit of extra damage to our spider baby over there. All right, so let's see if we can soften up. Oh, you know what? We can straight up kill the Javelineer. Yeah, no problem at all there. Let's try for the web, perhaps. Nice, and we got it. That's huge. Okay. Now we should be able to just kind of leisurely kill off the Epsilon Warrior here. So we'll start with arrows. And then we can do some big damage here. All right. Now the cheetah will probably pounce on my spiders. Yeah, that's what I was expecting. Would be nice to get a heal on the spider, so let's do that. Fantastic. And then big kill there. Nice. And our spider's in pretty good shape. Let's see, who needs the experience? Canyon Crawler would probably level up with this, but again, we do want to level up the Hunter Spider babies as much as possible. Let's do that. Okay, that's getting them pretty close to another level up. Because again, we do want them to evolve as quickly as we can. Alright, so now let's raise the Watchtower. Excellent. There's the Vassal Proposal and the High Elf Vanguard. We will take that reward happily. Fantastic. And that also gives us an extra unit here. So the High Elf Vanguard is, again, an infantry variant here that is armored, first strike, and overwhelm. Actually decently powerful for a tier 1 unit, so quite happy to have them. That'll kind of round out our stack with, now we have 6, so very nice. We can step down here, get rid of this Brigand hideout, maybe grab this gold while we're at it. And then perhaps turn back around and clear out some of these remaining structures near our new vassal city. Look at this, an Orc Iconoclast. Wow, look at that. Demolisher ×2, Warcry, Shatter Strike. Interesting. Devout. I wonder if this is maybe like a Theocrat unit or something. That's kind of cool for the orcs. Very neat. All right, let's see. What else can we do this turn? So, again, we do have this new unit. I think everybody is able to make it down there. So, let's go down and get rid of this before it causes any real grief here. And we'll engage the battle here. Yeah, let's take this on. So yeah, we have ourselves 2 nice vassal cities, which is quite helpful for us. It'll be interesting to see what we're kind of able to do with them now. Do a nourishing meal there. New Vanguard's gonna be able to get involved fairly soon. We want our Avenger up front, getting some damage in. Canyon Crawler, of course. Alright. Ooh, and our archers got crippled there. Let's do some big damage to those looters. There we go. Break down the gate. And then Tauron can step up here. Blast the looter as well. Oh, and he got a critical and the kill. That's perfect. And then, meantime here, let's step up and attack. And then we can move in and attack the Cutthroat as well. But before we do that, we could actually teleport in behind. Oh, and do some hefty flank damage. Excellent. And then big flank damage there. Now, this did put my spider babies at risk, but I think they'll be okay. I hope, anyway. Ouch. Oh, geez, they almost died. But they're okay, thank goodness. That was a little scary, though. Would have been a shame to lose them, given that we've been feeding them experience. So we'll try for the web. Nice, and we got it. Then we can awaken the spirit of our spider here. And let's step up and do some hefty damage. Excellent. Nice level up there for our Elder Canyon Crawler. Ooh, and look at that, a Draconian Ice Claw. This is that unit that we got to see previously in that battle. And a common weapon. Sure, let's take that. Yeah, we don't have a weapon currently, so sure, why not? Let's equip it. Nothing else. A little bit extra melee strength isn't so bad. And armor piercing. Can always trade it for something better when it comes around. Now, as for this Draconian Ice Claw, again, might be nice to send him back to actually join in with the army of my sorcerer, my new sorcerer hero. So what we might consider doing is either that or we could send back the Vanguard. I think we'll send him back, though. Let's send this guy back this way to kind of meet up with our sorcerer here. This little guy can do a bit of gold collection for us there. Very good. And look at that. There is a Watchtower here. Wouldn't be so bad to maybe grab the Watchtower just to get eyes on what's going on around here. But we are already kind of down here near this particular structure, the Wicked Flames of Growth. We've also got an item rack here that wouldn't be bad to clear out. Then the question now is, do we keep going this way, clear the Watchtower, or do we clear what we're kind of sitting next to? I'm kind of inclined to clear what we're sitting next to be honest. So I think that's what we'll try to do. There we go. Okay. Over here again, we've got our scout. Let's just head down this way. There might be something worth seeing over here. Let's just take a look if we get the chance. This little guy already done his movement. No, he hasn't, so he can move onto land there. Underground scouts can continue to do their thing. I think we'll send this guy back down this way. Meanwhile, up here, we want to head back that direction at least. So now, let's see. We have our Theocrat who can move. So, big question is, where do we want to send our Theocrat? So again, probably over here to start clearing stuff out around our Draconian vassal. And going up this way is probably the smart bet. We've already kind of gone this way before. So things are already cleared out kind of through there. Although really I do think that's the best bet. So let's do that. And then I think, you know what? Maybe what we'll do is we'll bring our sorcerer down this way and have him meet up with this draconian. And then maybe we can clear out some of these structures with our sorcerer, actually. So you know what we'll do is we'll leave our throne unguarded for a turn. I think that'll be fine. We've kind of cleared everything out around here. I'm really not too concerned. So we will do this. And then the two of them can start moving down this direction. And kind of form up right around our vassal city here, along with this Draconian Ice Claw. And then they can start trying to clear out some of these structures, which would be great. We can also summon them, perhaps, a wild animal to help out, especially once we have the shrine going. You know what? I think we can actually start doing that now. Let's do it. Should be fine. And then as for research here, ooh, look at this, Beast Mastery. The caster forms an unbreakable bond with the creatures of the wild. All the caster's animal and monster units receive mind control immunity and +2 resistance. Wow. Now that is powerful, especially given how many spiders and summoned animals we already have. Yikes, this is very, very strong. That's exciting. Enchant weapon. What's this? Combat spell. Grant unit with 2... Oh, okay, so this is a way to give a unit magical source damage. We've got warp equipment here. Equipped units and machines with 2x random penalty defense. Okay, so that's like a sabotage kind of spell. Let's see. Alter Node Empire bonus. Alter Node provides an additional 5 mana coming from any of the nodes available inside the domain. This would actually help us out, given that we need mana, and we have a mana node already. But I think I'm going to do Beast Mastery, just given how much stronger that's going to make our animals. So, let's do that. Now, meanwhile, our little crab up here He's getting his eyes on what's guarding these steel here. What if we were to send him in? Actually, you know what? He can retreat back and try to join up with... Yeah, let's do that. He can try and join our sorcerer hero, and they can form a fighting force to clear out these structures around here. So that's actually going to work out quite well. We'll end our turn right there. Okay, what's this here? Blessings of the Roads. Travelers have reported that the wind is always on their back when traveling the roads, no matter where they face. We should take advantage of this blessing. Follow the roads, my liege. Okay, so this is probably when you move on the roads, you have less movement penalty or whatever, so it costs less movement. So we can try and take advantage of that as much as possible right now. All right, so we will move down. Again, we want to probably go for this one first, the Shrine to the Guardian Angel, and then get the buff to help us in another battle. So let's head down for that one. Again, we want to group up here as best we can. Our little crab is going to make his way down to join us. There we go. So we'll have at least 4 units there, and we can also summon another one. This little guy can just guard the city, I guess. Now, our Theocrat, as I mentioned, can... I was almost tempted to maybe go up and try for this tomb since we're in the neighborhood. But I just don't think we're quite strong enough for that yet. And we want to get our Theocrat to level 7 before we really do anything too wild and crazy. So yeah, we'll head back over here, and there's lots of structures to clear out, so that's what we'll do. Okay, we have to do our production in Nundioth. We're doing all right for mana now. We're at least in the positive, although that's still going to need to be improved more. Especially since we're about to summon another animal. So maybe we do a temple just to, again, continue to improve our mana income. So let's do that. And then we can send this guy down here. Oh, there we go. So now we can see an ancient ruin. Keep heading south just to make sure we've kind of got this fully explored here. This looks like more or less a dead end down here. All right, no problem there. Meanwhile, on this side of things, you know what? We'll leave this unit there because otherwise it's going to cost us movement to come back. So what we'll do is I think we'll be fine with what we've got in this stack. It's already very powerful. So let's fight the item rack here. Oh, actually, now that I see what we're up against, we might need some backup. Okay, so we're up against a Tigran Royal Chariot. Wow, now this is a cool skin for the unit. I really like that. Throw Sun Spear, Strong Will, Immolating Projectiles. Yikes. 100% Spirit Protection. This is going to be a tough opponent here. And then we've also got the Tigran Phoenix Guard. Wow, so this is like the advanced version of the Sun Guard. So they got a Sun Shield, inflicts Scorching Heat. Again, it's Polearm unit with First Strike. Oh, this is a tough customer. Fire Protection and Spirit Protection. Yikes. Yeah, this is going to be very difficult to deal with. Not to mention, we've also got a Tigran Sphinx, which is quite a tough customer. We've also got a Tigran Naphaton here, which is... They have a Firebomb. Okay. Wow, okay, lots of fire damage going to be coming at us. You know what, in that instance, it might actually be better than to clear out the Wicked Flames of Growth, which gives us fire protection, and that would really help us out against that stack. So you know what? Maybe it would actually be better, and I will add this unit in, even though it's going to have reduced movement. So we'll do this, move everybody in to get the benefit. We are up against a Tigran Sentinel here, which is a pikeman, so we'll have to be careful, but... I'm thinking that the fire protection we get from clearing this out is going to help us tremendously, as I mentioned. Let's take a look at this Tigran Sentinel. So this is kind of like the first upgrade of the Tigran Sun Guard. It has Defender, which is very strong. Again, Sun Shield, Guard Breaker, Pikeman, First Strike, Polearm. Okay, so, and then the Phoenix Phoenix Guard is like the final upgrade, I guess. Very cool. Let's step up here. Oh, the Prowler can get blasted. Hefty damage. And then probably the finish just outright here. Yep. Yep, no trouble at all. Okay, and then our Canyon Crawler can step up and attack the Tigran Muse. The Tigran Muse is basically like a bard, it looks like here. Although it doesn't have... Yeah, it has minor bard skills. Although it doesn't look like it has the ability to charm an enemy unit. So that's the only difference there, or one of the main differences. Inspiring Aura. Yeah, so every friendly unit within a 1 hex range receives 300 morale. And then, of course, minor bard skill. So kind of a modified version of a bard there. Alright, so we'll step up and attack like this. Very good. And then step up to guard. Our Vanguard can perhaps just sit like there. Our Spider Baby can just stay back because not in the greatest of condition. Nice, our Spider just doing work, tanking damage like an absolute champ. And then we'll throw the heal on the Spider. Very nice. And now, you know what? I think it would be nice to teleport in behind. Try for the web on the Sentinel. Very good. We got it. That's excellent. The only problem now is we've kind of blocked ourselves out of attacking the Muse a little bit. However, I should be able to step up, do some big damage there, and then step up and still... Oh, yeah, I can hit the Muse for damage, no problem. And then get the kill with the Judicator here. Perfect. All right, excellent. So there we go. We got our buff. Unfortunately, we did take a little bit of damage, but I think we'll be fine. So now the question is, with the buff, are we strong enough to take on 3 tier 3 units? Yikes. You know what? I think this is a great place to leave it as a bit of a cliffhanger for next episode. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to end the episode here. But in any case, you can see that we've got a decent stack. And again, we can rely heavily on our Canyon Crawler, who is entirely immune to fire damage at this point, thanks to the inherent resistance and then the Wicked Flames of Growth. And then as you can see, the rest of our units now have that extra 60% fire protection. And again, when we look, a lot of these units do fire damage, so the Sun Spear does. You can see here the melee strike of the Phoenix Guard does. Obviously, the Sun Disc is devastating with fire damage. And, of course, Firebomb coming from the Naphaton here. So, again, I'm hoping I can leverage that and it'll help me out. But that'll be a battle for next time. So let's zoom out. So there, now you can see we're down at the southernmost portion of the map. And, of course, we did find the throne city of our opponent. So, a lot of progress this episode, actually. We're going to save it here. We're going to call this one Episode 3. And as always, guys, thank you very much for watching. I really do appreciate it, and I will see you in the next one.